Hi. So I have been using tDCS, and I've been using it for a very specific purpose for the past 6 days. I've been using it for learned helplessness. And if you don't know what learned helplessness is, there was an experiment done a couple of decades ago where they took a rat, they put him in a cage with a metal floor. Half the floor was electrified and half the floor wasn't. So they take the rat, put him on one side of the room, they would electrify the floor, the rat would jump from one side to the other side to escape the electricity. However, when they took a rat and then they electrified the entire floor and the rat would jump and there would be, like, he would be no way of escaping it, then they took the rat and they put him into a room where half the floor was electrified and half the floor wasn't, and they electrified him. Because he came from that other room where he learned that he was helpless no matter what he did, the rat would just stay there on the floor and continue to be electrified. That's learned helplessness. And unfortunately, I was suffering from that, specifically in a romantic sense. I had learned to become helpless. I know you guys out there watching this can identify with that. No matter what you do, there is no way of escaping the inevitable, right? You're familiar with that. So I was going through that, and the way it manifested itself, other than feeling kind of helpless, hopeless sort of thing, was that I kept repeating a phrase. And I didn't even realize this at the time. When I first started doing this, I didn't realize that I was repeating a phrase over and over in my head. Nothing really matters. Nothing really matters. Mostly it was that Queen song, you know, nothing really matters. Anyone can see. Nothing really matters. I kept repeating that phrase over and over again, so it would, like, anything would trigger it. So I'd see a woman walking across the street, and I'd say, oh, there's a woman walking across the street, but nothing really matters. Like, it would just, like, constantly repeat this, and it was, like, and this is, like, a process that had been going on for months. So it started out, like, very little, and then got more and more and more and more and more, until finally, by the time I'd ordered the tDCS, I was, like, deep, deep, deep into it, right? So I then thought, okay, well, I'll try and use tDCS, and I'd see whether or not one of the montages could help. And I thought, okay, well, this isn't depression, but let's see if I could run on depression, because there's similar mechanisms going on. So what I did was, I bought this 2 Tuesdays ago, and I started using it. I used it on this one, the left forehead, left temple forehead area, and also on the right shoulder. And I did it with the regimen that's talked about by Michael Nishi, Dr. Michael Nishi, which is 13 minutes on, 20 minutes off, 13 minutes on. He found that he tested a whole bunch of variety of different ones of time patterns in using it. And this was the one that kind of extended the effects 24 hours, a little further into the day. So I did that, and I did it for 6 days, from the Tuesday to the Sunday. And here's the result. The result. Oh my freaking God. That's the result. So here's my experience. On day 1 when I did it, which I did on camera, I was like, okay, well, I feel a little different, but it could just be because I had this piece of electricity on my head, and I just feel, like, kind of strange or whatever else, right? That was the first day, but nothing was really different. I felt a little something, but nothing was really different. Day 2, I noticed that I stopped repeating the phrase. Like I had said, the phrase, that negative phrase I kept repeating, just was like a knee-jerk reaction. Like, I couldn't even help it anymore. Like, I would just see something and I would just immediately think, nothing really matters. And what's more, I would, you know how you say words in your head? Like, there's one thing to kind of just see a concept in the back of your head. There's another times, like, you're talking in your head, you say it. I would see the concept in my head, but not have the desire to say it. It would just sit back there, but I just wouldn't formulate the words in my brain. And I noticed it. And that was odd, because I didn't really want to say the phrase anymore. By day 3, I really didn't want to say the phrase. And I noticed that my mood was starting to pick up. And by day 4, I was like, something is happening here which is not placebo, because of the phrase. Like, I had no problem in continuously repeating that phrase, negative phrase, again and again, but I didn't want to, and I was aware that I didn't want to. And then after 6 days, the phrase was gone. It was just gone. I think I said it once a day just because I remembered I was, for whatever reason, thought of the movie Wayne's World, and then I thought of the Queen song being sang, and then I went, "Oh right, whole thing, nothing really matters," and I sang it, but it was not in relation to anything. And on top of that, I started dating someone. So yeah, I'm gonna go on record as saying that my 6 days on tDCS with this and with this worked. It worked. Okay, so I would recommend it to you. I know there was another montage that's recommended for depression, which is positive anode, negative cathode here and here. But I chose, just because of on Reddit, someone had mentioned that was what was more effective for them was anode to cathode. So I decided to do that one instead. But I am here to report that if you have a sense of learned helplessness, maybe even depression, I wouldn't know because I didn't have it, but I would recommend it as well for depression. If you have it, I recommend you try tDCS, and you do it for positive anode, left forehead, negative cathode, right shoulder. That's my recommendation. I hope this is helpful. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, because I am going to be doing some more tDCS videos, because I'm an author and I'm testing various things. I can tell you I've already started experimenting on another montage that has had some interesting results. Cliffhanger! Anyway, so I'll talk to you next time. Bye!